Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. Welcome to our bubble. My name is Katie and today we are in my kitchen and we are making tallow wrinkle cream. So for those who don't know, real quick, tallow is the fat that comes from a cow or a steer. And after you cook it down several times and get all the smell and impurities out of it, then it becomes tallow. The best fat from your cow is actually around the kidneys. I think we're just pretty much dealing with the general fat in the cow at this. I do have a picture of when we received it. I did start this channel after we received our last quarter of a steer, so all I have is a picture. But we are going to receive another one at the end of this month, and we'll get into how you render it down and everything from there. But now let's go on and get started. We're going to make a salve, and we're going to whip it as well and make a whipped tallow, which is my personal favorite, and I'll show you the difference. So now what we need a cup of our melted tallow. And then today we are using walnut oil. Walnut oil is a deep moisturizer and it reduces inflammation. So if you have any kind of redness or anything in your skin, walnut oil also fights several signs of aging and helps to repair and strengthen your skin. And it also improves the elasticity of your skin, which is what we need as we age. So we're going to put in 1/4 of a cup of our walnut oil. It doesn't really have a smell. You could also use jojoba oil. It has great healing qualities for the skin. Our essential oil of choice is going to be geranium. Geranium oil helps to poof out little fine lines and wrinkles. We want around a teaspoon of our geranium oil, which is about 15 drops. So let's see. Okay. The essential oil that I have chosen to use is the Now brand. Not sponsored by any of these people. Now is just, it's a really good brand and their essential oils are 100% pure. So now that that's done, that's it as far as making your salve. And then what we're going to do is, if you do not have like small apothecary bottles, then just the little 1/4 of a pint jelly jar works fabulously. So we're going to go ahead and just fill one of these. Actually, we're going to fill a couple of these. Okay. So we'll just throw a couple lids on these, and then they go right into the refrigerator. So now we are going to make another batch. Same way. Put in our cup of tallow. Quarter cup of our carrier oil of choice. Our carrier oil today of choice is walnut. And 15 drops of our geranium. Now, but this batch, we're going to put this in the refrigerator for a little bit. So now our tallow has sat in the refrigerator. I left it in there about an hour. You want to make sure that it has cooled down enough that you can push it, but your finger doesn't go through it. Like you don't want it to be all liquidy. So now we're going to take our hand mixer and we're just going to whip it up. Now that we're all light and fluffy, we're going to put it in our apothecary bottle. I like to use these small spatulas because you can push it down so you don't have a bunch of air bubbles at the bottom. Once again, if you don't have like these little jars, you can always use the little jelly jars, which I like them just as well. You know, a lot of times they have a design on them, and I just think they're prettier. Your apothecary bottles normally are going to be colored. You're going to have brown or a bright, like a cobalt blue. And this is just to protect the ingredients from sunshine. When I first started making the tallow and whipping it, I just assumed it would be light and fluffy like Cool Whip. It's not. It's thicker, and even though it looks, you know, really light and fluffy, it looks like icing, like you would put on a cake, but it's not. It still has that thick, fatty feel, I guess. Here. So doesn't that look nice? Now what you want to do is you literally just want to use a tiny bit, just like you would with any wrinkle cream. Okay. See, that was a lot. That will cover like my whole face. But, and then you just work it in. And then give it a few minutes. Your skin naturally wants to absorb the tallow. It just takes it a minute. Nice. Wanted to show you the difference between the whipped tallow and the salve tallow real quick. The salve tallow has more of a salve or chapstick consistency, where the whipped tallow is definitely fluffier and smoother to the feel. Both work equally as well. I do want to say, if you are allergic to walnuts for any reason, you just have a natural allergy, I do not suggest using this. I would go and use the jojoba oil if that was the case. Stay young, my friends. See you on the next one. Bye.